At a time when the Jamaican people are experiencing immense hardship, with 58% saying the country is headed in the wrong direction, 66% believing corruption has increased over the last 5 years, and over 48% citing crime and violence as the country's biggest problem, the minister's intervention appears designed to inject uncertainty and confusion. It reeks of desperation and appears to test the patience of a people who are already demanding meaningful change.
Bless up, ABR family and viewers. Welcome back to the channel. It's your girl, Isabel Rose. And in this one, the People's National Party warns the government against constitutional mischief, as well as the Integrity Commission, with a immediate release, sends a requisition to 12 public bodies. Stay tuned for the details at hand. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks each and every one for the continued support.
On that point, I hear it often said that the elections are due by September. That is not constitutionally correct. What the Constitution provides for is an outer life for the date of Parliament, and that is 5 years, and the life of the Parliament commences on the first sitting of the Parliament after general elections, not when the general elections are held, because we know that the electoral laws require formalities to be complied with about counting, and sometimes space has to be given for recounts, judicial recounts. So it's important for all Jamaicans to understand that the life of the Parliament is not fixed, because we do not have fixed date elections, but the outer life of the Parliament is 5 years. And if elections are not called sooner, the Parliament automatically dissolves on the 5th anniversary after its first sitting. And then the Constitution also provides for the holding of elections within 3 months.
Kicking off this first segment, ABR family and viewers, we see the Minister of Legal and Constitutional Affairs, Malahoo Ford, came out yesterday in a constitutional committee meeting, and she said some things, quoting lines from Section 64 of the Constitution, and talking about our election date or general election is not constitutionally due September. And she spoke of this 3-month grace period and going around and turning around and spinning, trying to confuse the Jamaican people. And some are still in questioning as to what she really means and as to why is she coming out to say something like that. But I implore you all not to get distracted. Come hell or high water, they have to call this general election. We've seen them call a general election in the height of a pandemic. We've seen them call a general election even a year before it was constitutionally due. And whether the election date, as she's saying, they don't count from that. They count from the first sitting of Parliament. We did our little research, and it's indeed that the first sitting was held September the 15th, 2020. And so September the 15th of this year, 2025, would be that 5-year span that she was speaking about as well. And so the Parliament would be dissolved if they don't call the election before that date. And so the Governor General will have to step in if they wait until such time. So it's still constitutionally due in September, just to clear that up. Anyways, we see in the People's National Party, GenSec, Dayton Campbell running out on it, warning them to not undermine our constitutional traditions and to not cause any constitutional mischief.
The People's National Party has taken note of the gratuitous comments and public recitation of constitutional provisions by the Minister of Legal and Constitutional Affairs, the Honorable Malahoo Fort, MP, regarding the timing of the next general election. At a time when the Jamaican people are experiencing immense hardship, with 58% saying the country is headed in the wrong direction, 66% believing corruption has increased over the last 5 years, and over 48% citing crime and violence as the country's biggest problem, the minister's intervention appears designed to inject uncertainty and confusion. It reeks of desperation and appears to test the patience of a people who are already demanding meaningful change. The Jamaican people expect to go to the polls by September 2025 to elect a new government. That expectation is not merely political, it is constitutional. It must not be frustrated. The public is already engaged, with nearly 42% of Jamaicans saying they definitely intend to vote, and another 11% saying they are quite likely to vote when elections are called. The PNP reiterates that under Jamaica's constitution, if the Prime Minister does not advise the Governor-General to dissolve Parliament, it will do so automatically upon the completion of its term. Once Parliament is dissolved, a general election must be held within 3 months. Jamaica is not at war, and there are no conditions currently present that would permit a lawful extension or deviation from this timeline. We caution the JLP administration against abusing or misinterpreting any constitutional provisions for which the objective requirements do not exist. This government's track record of constitutional recklessness is well documented, from pre-signed Senate resignation letters to the appointment of an acting Chief Justice in breach of convention to the NIDS legislation which was struck down by the Constitutional Court. Jamaica's constitutional democracy is strong and resilient, but it must not be undermined by an administration attempting to extend its time in power by dubious means. It must be noted that while Jamaicans are steadfast and committed to democratic norms, the minister's comments are dangerously provocative and entirely unnecessary. Both political parties are already in campaign mode, and the people rightly expect an election by September 2025. If the minister's statement was merely an attempt to test public reaction or distract from the mounting failures of governance, let it be known the PNP will not be distracted, nor will we back down from our duty to stand with the people. I am therefore calling on the Prime Minister to urgently clarify the purpose of the minister's comments and to reassure the nation that there will be no attempt to delay the election or interfere with the constitutional timeline. Now, more than ever, the country needs leadership, not evasion, distraction, or constitutional mischief.
So, well-thinking Jamaicans, please do not let them distract y'all. Please do not read into this. I do believe that they want to rile up the nation to get us to think that they won't call this election for the people to go out and protest in anger, so that they can call out the infantry and call out the massive police to, detain the people and to cause unrest in the country, and that will give them the opportunity not to call the election. So I implore each and every one to keep calm. We're doing this with the calmest approach, and even if you're going out to protest, do it peacefully. Nevertheless, I'm imploring a peaceful general election to come. Moving right along in this segment, we've seen an immediate release from the Integrity Commission. We have learned since the 25th of February that we had gotten a new chairperson, and she goes by the name of Carol Lawrence Beswick. And as we stated, we love to give people a fair run, and so we're waiting and watching to see what this new chairperson of the Integrity Commission does. But anyways, in this, so we're seeing the Integrity Commission writing to 12 public bodies to provide the necessary information. Now, this immediate release says Integrity Commission requisitions public bodies to provide particulars of land and asset divestment, public-private partnerships, and acquisition activities. The Integrity Commission has requested 12 public bodies to provide to it by May 30, 2025, detailed particulars concerning all land asset divestment, public-private partnership, and acquisition transaction executed by them during the period July 1st, 2024 to December 31st, 2024. This includes warrants exemptions. The Commission's initiative, which will be supported by a new web-based system, is geared towards ensuring enhanced compliance, accountability, and transparency in respect of land, asset divestment, public-private partnership, and acquisition transactions executed. The data will be requisitioned biannually. So every 6 months, they have to give these information to the Integrity Commission. The formal requisition, which was issued under the hand of the Commission's Director of Investigation, Mr. Kevon Stevens, requires all permanent secretaries and heads of public bodies of 12 agencies selected to participate in the pilot stage of the implementation process to provide the required information in respect of all land, asset divestment, public-private partnership, and acquisition transactions executed, as well as contract particulars in respect of transactions that commenced within the reporting period but have not yet progressed to the execution of an agreement. And these 12 agencies are as follows: 1, the National Land Agency; 2, Development Bank of Jamaica; 3, Urban Development Corporation; 4, Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation; 5, SCJ Holdings Jamaica Limited; 6, Factories Corporation of Jamaica; 7, Tourism Product Development Company; 8, National Road Operating and Constructing Company Limited; 9, Port Authority of Jamaica; 10, St. Catherine Municipal Corporation; 11, National Housing Trust; and 12, Housing Agency of Jamaica. And we know all of these fall under, the Prime Minister's portfolio. So we are waiting and watching to see what comes out of this. And as we heard in this release, that they're, going for a more digital based system where them can have everything at the click of a finger. So ABR family, having heard all of this, drop on the 2 cents in the comment section. Let me hear what I say. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel on the road to 30K and beyond. Help me to get there. Get this video to at least 6,000 likes. Stay tuned for more videos. Stay tuned for more updates. Big up on yourself.